Nacho Jet. Shout out Puerto Rico, you would think that boy Camacho. All I really do is rap, I don't sing no high notes. Every Sunday, gotta check the aftermath. Make sure you hit the like button with a jab. You would think it's Cotto versus Paulie Brody whipped his ass. Lil' bro punching shit like it's Everlast. Taking L's to the chin, your shit made of glass. Shea Stadium Jet, seen an Ollie Norton fight. He witnessed Ollie take a loss. He seen Loma versus Haney, Devin shoulda lost too. Man, it is what it is, it ain't nothing we can do. They can copy shit, no this ain't no 3D printer. Once I'm done with this track, I'll probably eat some dinner. Electro been on YouTube since the beginning. On the YTBC, man, this shit never ended. Bitch, my bars hot like this shit Albuquerque. Bitch say so fly as hell, but no, I ain't no birdie. Electro from NYC, don't know no about New Jersey. Shout out to the tavern, bitch, we on it bright and early. Shout out to this white cake. Once again, Lomachenko beat the fuck out of Devin Haney. They probably.
What's up? How's everyone doing? If you're here, I just wanted to do this impromptu stream. Wanted to talk about a couple of things. Hopefully, my my mic is coming in okay. What's up, Team Batman Boxing? How you doing, OTC? Salute to you. Um, salute to everyone that comes in. I wanted to talk about something that I don't want people misunderstanding where I'm coming from. I know people hear me talking about, or it seems as though I put down the United States or the USA boxing, and it's not that I put it down, but my view of boxing is this: at one point in time, the USA was one of the greatest influences on boxing. You had some of the greatest champions in history to come from the USA. And don't get me wrong, I'm proud to be a United States citizen. Yeah, the country has its flaws, but no country is perfect. Trust me, no country is perfect. I'm proud to be here. I wouldn't want to be in any other country, and I'm proud of the achievements that our sports figures have made and done. But I have to state the obvious. And the obvious is this: when it comes to boxing right now, the United States is not the top dog in boxing. But I think it has a lot to do with work ethic. I think it has a lot to do with uh, selfishness and self-centeredness when it comes to boxing. Once upon a time, boxers would put in two, three, four, maybe five fights a year, and they would be fighting serious opponents. I understand coming up in the game, and when you first become professional, I understand that you're put against, not the best quality fighter. You get put up against, journeyman fighters, and I understand that. I got no problem with that. You got to learn, and that's the best way to learn. But when you go through so many journeymen, you have to start fighting that people that are going to be tough. And here's where the problem lies with boxing in the USA. You know, too many fans or too many channels, especially on YouTube, have a tendency to crown boxers way too quick, um, giving them way too many flowers for way too little work. There should not be any boxers with a record of 30-0 and their resume be piss poor garbage. That shouldn't even exist. When you get past 10, 15, you should be fighting top 20, top 10, top 5, top 3. But you get these fighters that have all this hype behind them that are fighting no names, and then they're being put up on this pedestal. And I'm telling you, this is why the USA. Yeah, right, OTC. Exactly. I do. I love those '90s boxers. My favorite boxing era is the '70s and '80s, preferably, but the '90s boxers were okay too. Don't get me wrong. My problem is this: is that you know if you're gonna clamor for being proud of USA and he's from the United States, you got to back him up. I'm not gonna back anyone up that doesn't put the work in. It's that simple. I'm not gonna follow boxers that are constantly fighting tomato can this, taxi cab driver that, Uber driver there. I can't do it. Oh, that OTC opening an old wound. Buster Douglas, Tyson. That one still hurts. But my big thing is, I'm not against. I'm not against the United States. I'm not against the United States. Boxing industry. I'm against what we're perpetuating up there. What we're putting forth. The toxicity that we're putting up there and the divisiveness and the sheer lunacy behind some of these fanatics, you know, it's unbelievable. I mean, it never used to be this bad. If we had I truly believe if we had social media back then the way we do now, I don't think it would have been that bad back then. I really don't. I really, really don't. My big problem is I want to see boxers put the work in and I want to see them get their fights in. I understand starting off slow and then and then ramping it up. But to continually ramp it up until you're at 30 fights, 25 fights? No, man. I can't I don't that's how come I watch these boxers from other countries. Like, Japanese right now are kicking ass. And because we watched the Nui beat Fulton. And Fulton is an excellent boxer. Nothing wrong with Fulton, but Fulton was just outclassed by a person that put more work in. Seriously, if you put the work in, I truly believe you should get what you deserve, and I give all accolades to fucking Anui for putting in the work. I mean, look how much that kid has accomplished, and people are gonna down him. People are already trying to match him up against like the likes of Tank Davis. Tank Davis's record doesn't nearly come close to fucking Inui. He couldn't even scratch the surface of an Inui. And I like Tank Davis, but I don't think he's been fighting enough. He hasn't been fighting top 10 fighters. He has not been, I want to see this guy fight. He has the potential. He has great skill. He got insane power. But he's not fighting. He's not putting in the work. I gotta, I'm not a fan of Haney, but I can't deny the work the man's put in. And I'm one of those people that do believe that he lost to Lomachenko. But here's the thing: he's fighting. He's fighting multiple times in a year. He's going out of his way. He went overseas to get to unify the belts and become undisputed. He went up against one of the pound for pound best fighters in at 135. So I have to give the man his flowers. He deserves all the accolades he gets. I mean, he's gonna have he definitely he's a bit coddled when it comes to judging, but it is what it is. Lomachenko puts the work in. Arguably one of the most feared people at 135. You got Shakur Stevens. He puts the work in. You know, but you gotta see. I respect those that actually try. I respect those that put the work in. I respect those that fight the top 10. I want to see the best fight the best. I'm tired of these excuses. I got people, I I'm tired of hearing of hype jobs like Berlanga. Berlanga for me is one of the biggest hype jobs ever. And they just keep putting him up there and putting him up there. And it's like, no, I'm not going to support a hype job. It's more than obvious who the hype jobs are. I believe Fulton still has a great career ahead of him. He should, I probably think I heard somewhere, I don't know for a fact, that he's going to move up in weight. That's great. Good for him. He still has a lot of skills, and he's still a great boxer. What's up, Iceman? How you doing? He's still a great boxer. There's nothing wrong with his skills. He just met that one that was better than him at that particular point in time. But then here I like Big Baby Anderson. I really do. I like him. But up until he fought Martin, he's been fight. He's been you know being set up with gradual fights. Now I believe he should not fight anyone that's not in the top 15. Big Baby Anderson should be fighting heavyweights at the top 15, top 10, and put him in. He needs to be put in the deep water. Can't coddle him no more. You can't coddle these guys after so many fights. These guys want to fight multiple times a year, but the average boxer from the USA, the ones that are up there and highlighted, a lot of them don't put the work in. Man, look, I'm gonna say it straight up. I'm looking forward to seeing Crawford and Spence. I really am. But in my honest opinion, fighting once a year, that don't fucking cut it for me. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. That does not cut it for me whatsoever. That's not putting the work in my honest opinion. You got people like Anui that fights 3, 4 times a year. You got people like Canelo. He's arguably you know, he's arguably one of the highest, most pound for pound fighters right now, arguably. You know, but no one can deny the work he's put in. Now, right now, I'm not the biggest fan of Canelo. I didn't like what he did, but he has the right to do that. He's made his bones because why? He put the fucking work in. And you got a lot of fighters from the United States that don't put the work in. There are some very good prospects out there. I like Tiger Johnson. I like Mason. Those are some prospects that I think are going to do that are going to be wonderful. They're. It looks like they're putting the work in. But please don't think that I think negatively of all American boxers. That's not in. I want to see them put the work in. It just so happens right now, the ones that are putting the work in and that are holding boxing up is Australia, Europe, UK, and I got South America. You got Argentina. You got Peru. You got all these boxers out there. They're putting the work in. And you got too many of these lazy ass American boxers that think they can fight once a year, you know, and get and deserve millions of dollars. But you got boxers in the Ukraine that are putting that work in that are working for fucking $25 gas coupons. You got boxers in the Ukraine that fucking share equipment. They can't even afford equipment. You got, I mean, a lot of these foreign boxers, they come up from the worst of the worst as far as, you know, living situations. And they try to work their way out there. And I got to give them their kudos. But then you got the spoiled American boxers that people just feed into those egos. People just that you got channels that, live for the fucking drama. Why in the hell would you cap for a boxer that doesn't even know your name? That hasn't given you a penny? That would just as soon as spit on you as look at you. But you're gonna sit there and cap for them like they're a family member. What's up, Jane Gang? How you doing? Oh yes, that fight was definitely worth it, Jane Gang. That fight was worth staying up. What's up, Hollywood Streets? But honestly, man, I mean, I can't see. I don't understand. I don't understand all this putting putting these boxers on it on this pedestals that they don't deserve it. You know how many people I've heard cap for Tank? What has Tank done at 135? Who has he fought at 135? List me all the 135 top teners that he's fought. Seriously. But he has the audacity to say he won't cross the street. His team will say that we won't cross the street. They have to come to us. They got to join PBC, and that's the only way that I'll fight them. And this that what is that bullshit? And you're gonna sit there and defend that? And then you got people, capping for both Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. I mean, these people are threatening lives. You understand that they don't fucking have a clue who you are. I'm not saying they're bad people, but honestly, at the age they are right now, both of them, at the age they are right now, I can list 15, 20 boxers from the 70s and the 80s that would put those records to shame. Granted, we didn't have all the belts back then that we do now, but for goodness sake, they put the work in. These guys are not putting the work in. No, they don't get my respect like that. The only boxers that get my respect are the ones that put the work in, that will fight the best in their division, that's not afraid to challenge themselves. When you use the excuse high risk low reward, that's a cop out. All right, that is a cop out. I wish that was never said. I wish that was never put in the record books. I wish, I wish that no one would think like that. I don't want boxers to die in a ring. I don't. But I want to see the best fight the best. As I was hearing people saying Nui has to go up to 135 to fight Tank. Yeah. See that yeah, I've heard the same thing, Iceman. I've heard the same exact thing. It's like, what the fuck? I'm hoping he stays in his division and fucking collects the other two belts. I really do. Because right now, I mean, if Crawford beats, if I'm not incorrect, I think if Crawford beats Spence, won't he be the only one, the only boxer to be undisputed in two divisions? I'm not sure, but is that correct? Because if that's correct, then I can totally see Inui being able to do that and then go up and go for a third division. But this is the work I'm looking for. This is the type of work everyone should be wanting. But you're gonna sit there and cap for a boxer that doesn't deserve that much love, that doesn't deserve that much fucking respect. Yeah, don't let me get on this one, Hollywood. It is a joke. That's a joke. But people are capping for Fury. People are saying Fury is the best thing since sliced bread. Now, I am going to say this: at at any given point in time, Fury Fury has held all the belts. He has had all the belts throughout his heavyweight career. He has had all the belts. He has been in possession of all the belts, but never all at once. Never all at once. And I'm sorry, but the fighting once a year, even in heavyweight, no, I'm not for that. I'm not for these games. Now Ali, yes, Ali he fought wrestlers, but he also fought 3 times in the same year that he fought wrestlers. You know what has Fury done? No, he's been avoiding. He's been avoiding Usyk, and I don't care what anyone says. That's what's been happening. He has avoided Usyk, and Usyk is just putting the work in. If Fury don't want to fight him, Usyk's going to fight someone else. He wants to keep busy. Fury wants to sit there and get fat like me. I wouldn't be surprised if that motherfucker's more round than I am. But people are fucking protecting this guy. They're blocking bullets for him with their body. Capping for this motherfucker who doesn't deserve it. And then you have people influencing what's going on in all the divisions, like Suleiman, not letting these Russians fight and get titles. Keep fucking politics out of boxing. These guys are boxers. They have nothing to do with what's going on with their country and what's going on with over there. Keep that shit separate. What's up, Garcia? How you doing? I can't stand it when I hear people say Fury is the best heavyweight. I can't help it. But the hairs in the back of my neck, whatever few hairs I got left, just stand on end. But I'm that way with all boxers, not just USA boxers. You know, I want USA to do great. Once upon a time, we were great as a country. We put out the best of the best when it came to any type of sport. And I was proud of that. But they put the work in. I was one of the biggest fans of Sugar Ray Leonard. I was a huge fan of Tito Trinidad, Roberto Duran. who's my namesake, because my name is George Duran, Jorge Duran. Of course, I'm gonna love Roberto Duran. These guys put the work ethic. That's what I look at when I see boxing now. I look at the work ethic. I want to see what they're doing throughout the year. When you got a boxer taking fucking 15, 20 months to fight, and they still have the belts, and people cap for them, oh, he's the greatest thing. He'll knock everybody out. I do not believe that either of the Charlo brothers should be having the belts that they have. I do believe that that Jamel has earned the belts, but I don't think he should have them anymore. He hasn't fought in over a year. Now, granted, I know that he had a hand injury, but so did Canelo, and Canelo was still able to fight after surgery, fight twice in a year. So I don't want to hear that bullshit. But they'll sit there. These channels with fucking with some sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, I can't even think of it right now. I forget a lot of shit. But these channels are, they're feeding into narratives or creating narratives to cap for a fucking boxer. No, Hollywood, I'm really not big on Mayweather. I can't take away what he's done and his accomplishments, but I do think that he has harmed boxing more than he's done good for boxing. When he was Money Mayweather, I feel like he put a bad stain on boxing because now everybody is trying to follow that 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 uh, that example. But what they don't see, what they seem to forget, is the pretty boy Floyd part of that career, where he put the fucking work in. But the second he beat not Canelo, the second he beat De La Hoya, he started picking and choosing, cherry picking like a motherfucker. I can't sit and 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 support that type of bullshit. Just like I can't support it when Canelo does it. But at least Canelo puts the work in, and Mayweather put the work in. So I can't take away his accomplishments, but I cannot agree with that the Money Mayweather side of it. I can't. I think he's done more harm than good. Yes, I do believe he's done more harm than good. And don't mind me, no, I'm not gonna have a panel or anything like that. I don't think there's enough people on to create a panel anyway, but uh, my thing is I just had some things on my mind, and I was flipping through YouTube, and I went down this rabbit hole. I'm seeing all this shit talking going on, and people, it's disheartening on how much crap is going on out there, and what people are willing to go through, what people are willing to do and say for a boxer that hasn't accomplished shit. I mean, you're willing to go out and fight with somebody over them talking shit on your boxer. Really? Really? Do you think that boxer gives a fuck about what you do? Fuck you, E Prime. Team Batman. Floyd beat more champions and had more big fights than Crawford and Spence. Again, I can't take away his accolades, Batman. That's not the thing. But the dynamic and the direction that he went with the Mayweather, the Money Mayweather part of his career. When he was Pretty Boy Floyd, that there was I'm sorry, that was the monster right there. When he was Pretty Boy Floyd, yeah, that mother put the he that fucker put the work in, and he deserved that shot at De La Hoya, no doubt. But I'm sorry, I have an issue with Money Mayweather. I really do, and I'm none too pleased with his promotion company and the way that and the way that they're protecting or the way they were protecting and coddling fucking Tank. I want to see Tank fight the best because I know he can fight the best, and I know that they will be good. So why am I awake? Because I am. I had to stay up all night last night, and because I was watching the boxing match between Inouye and Fulton. Then I did aftermath, and then I joined a few panels after that, and then I slept all day, and now I'm up. So I'm trying to get a little tired. I'll be going to bed as quickly as possible. I'm just trying. I'm waiting for my medication to kick in. But now, Batman, do you understand what I'm saying when I these youngsters are trying to follow the Money Mayweather plan, but they're not going to try to follow the Pretty Boy Floyd part of the part of it. They just want to jump into, you know, oh no, that's high risk, low reward. I want a higher reward and a lower risk. Do you understand where I'm going with that? You do understand what I mean by that, right? I'm not trying to piss you off on how if Mayweather is one of your heroes, that's fine. I got no problem with that. But I just have a problem with people trying to follow that that what's the name that blueprint. You see, that's a good point. That's matchmakers. No, that's all right. Here's a all right, yeah, that's matchmakers. You're right. You're right. But that's also his team. That's also his management, his promoters, and he's following what they tell him. So at the end of the day, it's still him. That's all I'm saying. At the end of the day, it's still him, Batman. The buck stops with him. Everyone is saying, well, I'm following Money Mayweather. So again, that buck stops with him. It's him and it's he that has the influence on these younger boxers, the current generation. And it's a bad example. Put all the work in. Fight the best. If you have belts, especially if you have belts, defend them. Because there's other people that deserve shots at those belts. So please fucking fight your mandatories. Stop looking for ways to get out of fighting. Like I think Canelo should be fighting Benavides. I don't think Benavides can beat Canelo, but Benavides is the one that's up next. So why not fight Benavides? Everybody wants to see that fight, and I think it'll make money. I understand trying to marinate a fight, but it is what it is. But to go and have somebody come up 2 weight classes, all right, to fight you. So all right, you fought a mandatory. This was Canelo. He fought a mandatory. Kudos to him. He went up to 175, lost to Bivol, but he was trying to improve on his record. That's fine. Got no problem with it. He came back down and defended twice. I get it. That's good. But to have somebody come up 2 weight classes, that's unheard of. It's never happened since I've known it, but let's see. What's up, Sly Tendencies in the house? Fulton Jr. really laid an egg. It reminded me of Jeff Left Hook Lisi. The media and the people really acted like Fulton was some pound for pound legend. Yeah, this is see when my thing is the only reason I was so confident. Now I've made bad calls. Y'all know it. I've picked bad. I've picked some losers there, but I try to do it. I try to do it scientifically. I look at the last 3 to 5 fights, and I try to see how the fights went, how long it's been since he fought last. Fulton, it's been a while for Fulton, you know, and look at the styles. And since the Nui was coming up, 4 pounds is not that much of a difference. His power is still gonna resonate and translate up to the higher weight. So I kind of knew that's the only thing. That's the only reason I picked the Nui, and I picked it the way because a Nui likes to destroy the body, and I didn't think that Fulton was ready for that. But that doesn't mean Fulton's a bad boxer. I think is an A-class fighter, but he fought an A-plus fighter. Team Batman. Floyd isn't a boxer now, and welterweight and lightweight has over a dozen unbeaten guys. And Batman, don't you think they should be fighting each other? They're keeping those zeros, right? They're keeping those zeros by making sure they specifically plan it out. Instead of fighting the best, they're fighting someone to make sure that their zero don't get touched. You don't feel it's that way? Am I the only one that feels that is that way? Yeah. Right. Yeah. A lot of people said it, and then you got a lot of people that were saying, "Oh no, Fulton is pound for pound." I said, I don't know how the fuck anyone thought Fulton was pound for pound. I got a very strict pound for pound list, and um, he knew he was in the top 10, and now after this, he's in the top 5 or top 3 for me now. You have to do a lot, and that man has done a lot. He has a lot of accolades under his belt for as young as he is. Oh yeah, let me go back up to this one. Um, that's the matchmakers and promoters' fault, not a guy that retired years ago. You know, but actually, Batman, he's still having influence. He's a promoter now. He's got a promotion company, and so he's still having influence, and he's still trying to be in the spotlight. You can't deny that, right? He's still trying to be in the spotlight. So, I mean, yeah, he's not boxing, not professionally. He's not boxing and stuff like that. But he does. I'm sorry, but he still has an influence. Everyone's using him as a blueprint. And I'm just saying it's just I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying it's a bad influence. That blueprint without the first part. If you're gonna follow Mayweather's career, then follow his entire career. Is all I'm saying. Don't just follow the money Mayweather plan. You gotta follow the pretty boy Floyd part. And then you can follow the money Mayweather. Because if you do the pretty boy Floyd part, that'll get you to money Mayweather. But everyone's cutting out the hard part, which is what he had to go through. That motherfucker grinded. He fought anyone and everyone. But no one wants to do that part of the work. And that's what I have a problem with. You get what I'm saying now? Hi, baby. I will be to bed soon. I know. That's my wife there, guys. I will be to bed soon. I'm just waiting for the meds to kick in. Sly Tendency says Floyd is the puff daddy of boxing. Dude refuses to go away. He wants to be in everybody's video now. Puff had a solo career a decade after Biggie passed and refused to get out of it. Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, yeah, I feel that exactly. But I just oh guys, please hit the like button, subscribe, share, and all that good stuff. And if you feel like donating, it's scrolling on the bottom. You can either donate at PayPal me, everything's down there, or Cash App me, whatever. That's the only time you're gonna hear me say it. I leave it scrolling. Oh shit. Uh, oh, Iceman, don't fuck with Katie, man. You know Lomachenko is her second husband. Oh shit. She loves that shirt that she got from the MGM Grand. She absolute loves that shirt, man. But anyway, man, this is all me just, talking random shit. Hope y'all didn't mind. I just felt like getting up here and it just bothered me. It bothered me because, I had gotten a message, why are you hating on all boxers from the US, and that's not the case. I just want to see I just want to see more boxers from the US put the work in and actually, and I'm really happy with some of these. I really am. With some of these prospects that are out there, man, I am I see big things for them in the future. Sly Tendency says the Nui stab, jab, and upward jab was actually shocking. Fulton actually fought. Scared after that, yeah, he did fight. He was very hesitant. He cut off Fulton's footwork with stops and ring generalship. Yep, you're right. He did. One thing I don't know if you noticed, Fulton's footwork was on point. Fulton's footwork was if he was fighting somebody other than a Nui, Fulton's footwork would be like textbook. But a Nui, if you notice, just as a Nui was throwing punches, is when a Nui moved his feet to the inside and started popping away. So it's like there's nothing else Fulton could have done. Anui's just that good. All right, he's no Superman. I'm pretty sure that there's gonna be somebody better than him. Just like not right now and not at that weight class. But let's not. I'm going to say this with all honesty, man. Do not downplay Fulton. Fulton is a good boxer. Fulton actually is an excellent boxer. I consider him, B plus A fighter. All right, that's what I think. He's a grade A fighter. My problem, my thing is, I think that Inui is an A plus fighter, and he showed it. He just happened to show it. Because Fulton, when I saw that Fulton Figueroa fight, man, that was a good fight. Tell me that wasn't a good fight. I personally thought Figueroa won, but that fight between those two, that was a fucking excellent fight. And it's hard to believe that fight, the Fulton fighting in that fight, I fighting a Nui. Look at the difference in classes of fighter. And let's not forget styles make fights. And Nui's style, I mean, he blends in. He's totally capable of fighting any style fighter right now. Slight Tendency says, yeah, EJ, apparently holding our guys to a standard means hating. Yeah, right? I love Tyson Fury, but I want undisputed. Canelo fan all day, but everyone wants Benavides. Everyone but Sansom. you know, I think I saw that. Was that you that said that last time? After 1 minute, that's what you saw. because I think I saw you write that before, man. Um, yeah, yeah. No, I thought Figueroa would beat Fulton too. I really did, but I did have it as a close fight. That's how come. The only thing that made me mad was that I actually put money. This is why I don't gamble on the fights no more because my wife got a little upset with me that I put so much money on that fight. And when they said Fulton won, I was like, "What?" So it was personal. So I thought maybe my opinion of that fight might have been slightly skewed because I put money on it. But then a lot of people that I hang around with in the boxing community also said that they thought that Figueroa won that fight too. But then a lot of other people were saying, "Nah, Fulton won." So it was a close fight. I did have it as a close fight. I had the fight 7-5. So that's a close fight. See, Team Batman says Brandon has great volume and pressure, but hits nothing like Inui. The technique, timing, precision, speed, and power, crazy athleticism. Inui is an absolute freak of nature with a crazy high boxing IQ. Yes, yes, he is. That's how come I say A plus. I think Fulton is an A fighter. At the very minimum B plus, A minus, but I personally think Fulton is an A fighter. You know, he just ran into an A plus fighter, one of those special ones. Yeah, but yeah, guys, I don't hate United States boxers. I don't. I just hold them to a standard, and my standard I won't change it. I will not change my standard. What's this? Well, yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I thought so too. I thought so too. Yeah, it was a tough fight. Before. I thought he outworked Fulton too, man, and I thought he deserved it. But like I said, my opinion at the time could have been slightly skewed. Yeah, yeah. I knew he made him look bad, but I'm not gonna say he's a C fighter even after that fight. I'm just gonna say he met his match that day. He met his match. But listen, what if this happens? Let's look at this scenario for a second. Let's say Fulton moves up. Let's say Fulton moves up one or two weight classes, right? And then Inui decides to put his feet and wet his feet into the weight class that he moves up, and Fulton is doing well in that. Let's say he has a belt, all right? Now, I truly believe, all right, that if Fulton moves up in weight and Inui meets him at that new weight, all right, for whatever reason, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I do believe that you might have different results. More than likely, I think I knew he would still win, but I don't think the fight would end up the same way. You understand what I'm saying? Because that weight difference makes a big change. I figure a 10 to 15 pound weight difference when you're jumping up makes a big difference in how you fight and your fighting style and your speed and your athleticism. I know that affects it, and I think Fulton, if anything, Fulton would get better at a higher weight class. Whereas because Inui is not tall, all right, I think it would be a detriment to Inui if he jumps up too high a weight class. Like I don't know how Inui would do at 135. To be completely honest, I don't know how he would do. I know that it would affect him. It would affect his performance. I don't know if he would be as athletic. I think the punching power. I think um, that will still transfer. If anything, he'll punch harder. But again, I think he would lose speed and athleticism. Do you guys agree with that? Absolutely no shame in losing to the monster. No, none at all. Oh, damn. You think Anui still beats him? Yeah, let's see. Just 4 pounds. John Smith, go to bed, Jed. You got school tomorrow. Shut up, Nick Smith. But anyway, yeah. I just that was what was on my mind. People, I went down that rabbit hole, and then I got some comments that I hated USA fighters, and I don't. I just it bothered me. It got under my skin because that's not the case. I have a standard that I think these fighters need to be at, and it's like they don't have the hunger. Hunger, hunger is what I'm looking for. I want to see a hungry fighter, you know, and that's missing. I there's a difference between a hungry fighter, and a greedy fighter. All right. What the hell is this? Oh, there's a big difference between a hungry fighter and a greedy fighter. And I'm going on. I'm coming on to an hour. Yeah, I'm. Let's see, Team Batman. Let's see. Before yesterday, I would have said Inui will top out at 122, maybe 126. Now I'm convinced he will go to 126. All right, but Batman, let me ask you, Um, what do you think his body? How do you think his body would react at 135? Just out of curiosity, whoever's still in chat, how would his body react to 135? Could he still be as athletic as at 122? Do you think he'd be as athletic? Do you think that all that skill would transfer up to that higher weight? Yeah, the high IQ, that's a big part of Inui, that he does have a high IQ. Dude, and he's cold as ice. You see the expression on his face, man? Dude, he's cold. I think they should call him Iceman. Yeah, he's the monster, but the monster Iceman in Nui, because he's an Iceman, man. Seriously. But yeah, I'm a head to bed. Katie was Katie's saying, honey, I know you're having fun, but why don't you come to bed? Okay, that's my cue, guys. I'm out of here. Good night, everybody. Love y'all. Hit the like and all that shit. Share it. Yeah, you know the whole spiel. I'll see you guys tomorrow or something like that. Peace out.